Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to cut right through the hype around what's probably the biggest topic in business right now, artificial intelligence. We're here to give you a much-needed reality check, especially if you're a leader trying to figure all this out.
So let's just dive right in with a pretty bold statement, right? The idea that C-level executives are essentially being lied to, sold a bill of goods about what AI can actually do. Is all the hype just way out ahead of what the technology can deliver today? It's a huge question, so let's dig into it.
And this really gets to the heart of the problem. On one hand, you have the promise, right? This idea of an effortless, plug-and-play solution that'll transform your business overnight. But the reality? Well, it's a lot slower. It's full of friction and complexity, and it demands some serious technical know-how. We've all seen those slick demos, but actually getting that tech working across a whole company, that's a completely different ballgame.
This gap between what's promised and what's real leads us straight to a major issue: the executive disconnect. Let's break down why what leaders think is happening with AI is so often out of sync with what's actually going on with their teams.
And boy, do the numbers make this disconnect clear. You've got a whopping 80% of C-level leaders who believe AI is already transforming their organization. But get this, only about a third of their employees are actually equipped with any AI tools. That's not just a gap, that's a canyon.
And the result of that gap is pretty sobering. With all the money being spent, with all the hype, it turns out only 10% of companies feel they're truly ready for the disruption AI is bringing. And ready doesn't just mean you bought the software. It means you have a real strategy, you have the right talent, and you have the rules in place to manage it all.
So, why is this happening? Well, the roadblocks are real, and they go way beyond just technology. We're talking about a serious lack of skills and training. Companies are battling ancient, outdated infrastructure. There are no clear rules for who's in charge or how AI should be used. A lot of organizations are just stuck, talking about the big vision without any concrete plan to actually get things done.
Okay, so if those are the problems, how do we start moving forward? The path ahead begins with getting real about the cost of success. And I'm not just talking about the price of a new tool. I'm talking about making smart, strategic investments that will pay off in the long run.
And you might want to brace yourself for this number, because the scale is just massive. To meet the global demand for AI by 2030, the estimated investment needed could be as high as $5.2 trillion. And a huge chunk of that isn't even for the AI models themselves. It's for the boring but essential stuff, the data centers, the infrastructure. This just goes to show AI isn't a side project. It's a monumental shift.
Now, a number that big can feel impossible, but you can tackle it by being strategic. You need a smart investment path. First up, plan with a clear return on investment. Know what you're trying to achieve before you start spending money. Second, test your ideas with small pilot projects before you go all in. And third, and this one is absolutely non-negotiable, you have to focus on the quality of your data. Because at the end of the day, your AI is only as smart as the data you feed it.
Okay, so beyond smart investment, there's another piece of the foundation you have to get right: automating the right way. This is so important, because before you even dream of applying AI, you've got to become a master of your own house, of your own processes.
It all boils down to one simple, critical rule. If you take a broken, inefficient process and you automate it, you don't magically fix it. You just get a broken process that runs way faster. You're just amplifying your mistakes. It's kind of like strapping a rocket engine onto a wobbly shopping cart. It's going to be fast, sure, but the crash is going to be spectacular.
And that's exactly where this idea of process refinement comes in. And look, it's not just some corporate buzzword. It's the absolutely essential work of mapping out, taking a hard look at, and actually improving your workflows first. Only then, once a process is working well, do you bring in automation to make it even better.
So, you've got your smart investment strategy. Your processes are humming along nicely. But none of that will matter if you forget the most critical piece of this entire puzzle: the human factor. Your success with AI depends completely on your employees, on their trust, their buy-in, and feeling like they are empowered by this change.
And the good news for leaders is that you're actually starting from a position of strength. A solid 71% of employees say they trust their own employer to handle AI responsibly. That's a huge asset. But listen, that trust is fragile, and you have to keep earning it every single day.
So how do you build on that trust and get that buy-in? Well, you start by involving your people right from the beginning. You have to be transparent. Tell them what AI is for and, just as importantly, what it can't do. You've got to provide constant training so people feel more capable, not like they're about to be replaced. And you have to show them how this tech will free them up from the boring stuff to do more valuable, more human work. It's about augmenting your team, not replacing it.
All of this really comes down to one fundamental question that every leader needs to ask themselves. Are you just buying AI, or are you actually building an AI-ready culture? Because the difference between those two things, that's what's going to separate the companies that thrive from those that get left behind. Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.